So now that we know why it works, let's take a look at the lead conversion process in a little more detail and understand exactly how it works. When a website visitor comes to your website for the first time, it is nice to be able to capture a sale immediately, but as we discussed in the previous video, that's not always how consumers buy. In fact, it almost never happens. Just think about the amount of traffic that you get on a daily basis and how many of those hits actually translate into actual immediate sales. Not many. So it's not something that happens often, and what's going on is that the same type of behavior happens in a retail store. You know, when I go and shop for a blouse or perhaps an MP3 player, I don't grab the first thing that I see and hightail it to the front of the store and check and purchase it. No, I've got to see the entire inventory. I've got to touch and feel each one of them. I have to pick them up and weigh them out and compare all of my options. That's just the way that people shop. And I might even shop around from store to store, from place to place, asking all kinds of weird, seemingly trivial questions. Most people are this way. As shoppers, we have made a game out of becoming shopping detectives. We agonize over every shopping decision with the scrutiny of the world's finest detectives. Before I make my decision to buy, I'm going to do some form of research, and usually if it's a big ticket item, I'm going to do a lot of research. And that's what's going on when people are coming to your website. They are doing the research. They're picking you up, taking you off the rack, trying you on. They want to determine whether or not what you're selling is really a good fit for them. They want to know whether you as a company are a good fit. So most online consumers are shopping around and they're comparing prices and they're comparing features and other options before making a final purchasing decision. And most of your prospects are probably going online to look at you before they decide to buy from you. If you're in a service-based business, they're going to check you out. And you have to keep this in mind with your website. You cannot expect instant gratification. If you expect a quick sale, then you really have missed it. Go back to video 1. If you think this, then your Christmas stocking is going to be full of all kinds of nasty, dull, cold coal. Get over yourself. No quick sales here. So when prospects come to your site, they are not buying immediately. You're going to have to initiate a sale with them. You're going to have to initiate a relationship, I should say, with them. You're going to have to find some common ground and use that common ground as a basis to connect. So there are 6 elements of conversion. There's 6 elements of this relationship initiation process. The way that every business nurtures its leads will be different depending upon their business needs. However, the conversion process generally involves each one of these 6 elements in this specific order. First of all is your special offer. The second is your call to action. The third is your landing page. The fourth thing is your lead capture information, your form. The fourth thing is to download information, and the final thing is to market to them and to nurture the leads. So when I explain this concept, a lot of times I revert back to the do's and don'ts of dating, because that is the greatest analogy I can think of how you try to introduce yourselves to and date your customers. So our childhood friends, Jack and Jill, are also equally as relatable. So I'll use them in an example before we get to the nitty-gritty of each of these 6 elements. Once upon a time, there was a single guy named Jack and a single gal named Jill. Jack sees Jill from afar and knows that he or she is his type. She fits into his target demographic, if you know what I mean. He does everything that he can to catch her eye and try to attract her to him. And finally, he is successful. He can't believe it. She's standing right in front of him. What does he do? If he asks for a kiss or her hand in marriage at this point, Jack would most certainly be rejected. So instead, he decides to offer her something of value, a romantic dinner and a movie. Wouldn't you like to go? He asked Jill. Jill is kind of reluctant and says that she'll think about it. But Jack's not going to let Jill get away. He knows that once she walks away, he's going to have to work extra hard to get her back. Jill, he says, there's no downside to going out with me. You'll get a great dinner, you'll get great conversation, and an entertaining movie. There's no pressure, and you'll go home happy. After chewing on this argument, Jill agrees and gives her his contact information, or gives him her contact information. Before she leaves, Jack gives Jill his business card and a hug. Jack and Jill go out on their date the next day. Every day after that, Jack worked on reaching out to her and getting to know her. Finally, they walked up the hill together, madly in love. So lead conversion is a dating game. Let's take a look at this and let's relate the story to the 6 different elements of inbound marketing lead conversion that we just discussed. Now, after Jack put in all the hard work of attracting and being attracted to Jill, he knew that in order to be successful with her, he was going to have to gradually lure her in. The asking for the kiss on the first date wasn't going to happen. So he did so with a special offer, and that was the dinner and the movie date. Likewise, you're going to be offering your customers something of value. Maybe it's a free ebook, maybe it's a webinar, something of value to them. Jack gave Jill a call to action when he asked her out. Now, prominent on every page of your website, you're going to have a similar call to action. When Jill was hesitant, Jack explained the benefits of taking him up on his special offer. Now, your customers are already going to be skeptical. We talked about that before. But what you're going to do is give them the benefits. You're going to lay out exactly what's inside of that special offer on your landing page. That landing page discusses the offer in more detail and explains why they really need to download it. Jack did this when he explained that there was no downside to getting her to go on the date. So Jill finally agreed with the date, and when she does, she gives Jack her contact information. This gives Jack permission to contact her in the future. Yeah, you're seeing where I'm going with this. You're going to collect the contact information of your prospects with a very simple form. Notice also that Jack gives her something, and that is the business card. After their meeting, that business card served 2 purposes. First of all, it told Jill a little more about Jack and what he did. And secondly, it prepared Jill to learn more about him. So she was actually intrigued and excited to learn more. And you're going to do the same thing with your special offer. It's likely going to be a downloadable product that's delivered to your prospects automatically via email. And what that product is going to do is market for you passively. It's going to sit there and intrigue them, make them want to learn more. And then after the dinner was over, Jack followed up with Jill and nurtured the relationship in the way that you're going to follow up with your customers via autoresponders and other special offers, and then personal contact, human-to-human contact. We're going to discuss that in a later video as well. Throughout the process, notice that Jack was never abrasive, he was never pushy, he was smooth as silk, and he also broke down her barriers as we discussed in the previous video. He got her attention, he asked for her permission, and over time he gained her trust. APT, attention, permission, trust. Never forget that. So as we move on to the next video, I want you to think about how your current process for converting
It's 6 o'clock.
How your current process for converting leads on your website is working. Are you as smooth and debonair as Jack is? How does your current online process and regular conversion process differ? Use that comments box below to share your thoughts, share your insights, and share your answers.